All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's about 6:30 here. It's pretty nice outside. The sun's bright and it's warm. Um, what I wanted to talk about in this was just kind of break down a scene in the movie The Matrix and sort of my interpretation of what's going on in that scene, and maybe how I see we can apply some lessons learned in that scene in our real lives. Matrix is an important movie to me. It literally helped me find the path. It had a lot of good philosophies in it and ideas that, you know, I started thinking about and developed over time. And it really helped to untie some of those knots in my head. So I think it's a really good movie uh, that people should watch. Everybody should check it out. It has a lot of good stuff in it. But Matrix is completely a product of the 90s. I think it was heavily influenced by movies like Total Recall, a movie called Dark City, and an anime called Ghost in the Shell. And there's also a movie, Ghost in the Shell, that came out in 2017 with Scarlett Johansson based on the anime. But the anime has a little bit of a different tone and a little bit of a different approach in its philosophical views of things. And the movie was a little more shallower in its thought process, and it became very focused on what's going on with just her. Yeah, I like the movie. It's good for what it is, the 2017 movie. But I like the anime better. So with that out of the way, here we go. So the scene in the Matrix that I want to kind of talk about here is the dojo scene when Neo and Morpheus fight, and so they're doing their fighting, right, and Morpheus is kind of winning, and he eventually knocks Neo down to the ground, and Neo's on the ground, huffing and puffing and things like that. And Morpheus says, how did I beat you? And Neo says, you're too fast. And Morpheus says, do you think me being faster or me being stronger has anything to do with my muscles in this place? And then he asks Neo, because Neo's breathing heavy because he just got whooped, right? So he's like, do you think that's air that you're breathing? And then Neo stops breathing the air, right? So what that to me, what that scene is saying is that we you have to let go of all these preconceived notions in your mind, all this programming that our society does for us. You have to let all that go, um, because all of that negative programming that comes in from our society, our world, all of that's coming in, and it's limiting your potential. um it's limiting what you can do because you think there's boundaries and there's boxes, and everything's chained down, and it really limits what you can do when you think that way, when you think that there's all kinds of boundaries and borders to everything. And we need to get away from that. And how do we get away from that? How do we get away from that? How do we realize our potential more in life? um, I think the first thing you need to ask yourself is, why do we hold on to things? Why do we hold on to things in life? And yeah, especially negative energies, it always seems to be something negative we hold on to. And I think that a lot of that stuff that we hold on to in life, it becomes part of our identity over time, and it just becomes harder and harder to let go of those things because they come become interwoven with our fabric of who we are, right? So it becomes harder to let go of those. um, but I think learning to let go of that is how we break that cycle for ourselves. um, And I think to another pathway here to breaking that cycle is we need to do things in our life that feel right, and that is true to us. And we need to know ourselves, and we need to do those things that feel right for us. um, and we need to make sure that our thinking is through a clear lens and not through a lens that's distorted by all the noise of reality around us. So I think that's the way to find that path to start realizing maybe the potential and the things that you can do in life that better serve you, um, than just following the programming that's laid out before you. So those are kind of some ideas there, of what I think's going on there in that movie, philosophically, in that scene. So, like and subscribe and turn on notifications so when I upload, you get notified of that. I'm trying to upload like every other day or so at 7 o'clock, every 7 p.m. every day, or every other day, is what I'm trying to do. We'll see how that works. And my next video will probably be a Matrix video as well. I want to talk about a few things. So I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.